Hey guys, welcome back to Adventure Camping. Tactical Nut here with a new review for you. And this one's going to be on the knife sharpening system that I use to sharpen all of my knives. It takes a little bit getting used to at first, but it works extremely well and I've really enjoyed using it. So I thought I would show you in hopes that maybe it'll help you in finding a new system to sharpen your knives with. I know using a typical sharpening stone really has to develop its own skill set, and it can be really difficult to learn. A lot of people don't have the patience for it, and so they'll either take their knives to someone to have them sharpened, or they get their knives functionally sharp. It'll get the job done, but they're never like razor sharp or anything like that. So I found this one and it's worked extremely well for me. So let me just kind of show you what you get. You get this little washcloth here. You get 4 stones starting at 180 grit, which is on here, 400 grit, 800, and 1500. You also get a marker to, as what I always do is I outline the cutting edge of the blade so that I can see how, if I'm getting the right angle of sharpening or not. You get the manual, as you can see here, and then you get this setup, which if you've ever seen the Apex Pro, it is extremely similar to it. Not as advanced, but it's also less expensive, so you kind of get that to go with it. So as you can see right here, you can move this up or down depending on the width of your blade. Tighten that up. It's got this so it can move back and forth across the blade of your knife. And on this little bar right here, as you'll see, there's different colored notches. Each one of those is for a different degree of angle, and of course you can also stop it anywhere in between because this tightens and loosens to move it up and down. Now what you would do would be, let me get a knife on here. Now this one, this Michael Hawk Paragon knife, this kind of blade is a bit difficult to sharpen with this sharpener simply because of the recurve on it. But basically just what you would do is you're going to hold your knife on here, and then you're just going to rub this, front to back that way. Now it says that you can slide it back and forth, but I always just raise it up and slide it across, and only use it in one direction. But if you find that doing it the other way helps you, then by all means. You can use it for fixed blades. Since that ramp is adjustable, going to be reviewing this one really soon, the Benchmade Barrage. You can move this little platform up so that way you could still get your pocket knives, smaller knives, do any blade width. I mean, you can do any blade thickness, any angle that you need to sharpen at. This one does it all. And I mean, I'll tell you, I do soak these in water first. You can use oil on them, either one. But man, this thing is really, really effective. Now the only thing that you would have to work at, and this is what took me a little time to develop the skill at first, was, if you got a blade that is, well, let me use the pocket knife to show you. As you're running this along, when you get to here, you have to move the blade out just a little bit to keep it parallel with this right here. And I mean, it takes a little getting used to of having to actually move the knife, but once you get it down, you really just start flying through it. So if you do get one of these, don't get discouraged that it's kind of weird at first to learn how to use it, but it will take it does have a little bit of a learning curve to it. But your instruction manual here, gives you all the instructions step by step, how to set it up, how to use it on different type of blade shapes, as you can see here. Tells you the degree of angles that you can go or use. So, even got this to tell you how to set this part up. But man, I gotta tell you, I couldn't be any happier, as you see here, how it's telling you to, showing you move the knife along as you're going. But I mean, really, I got this for $30 on eBay. Well, actually, I didn't get it for $30. I got it as a gift. but that's how much it was going for on eBay. I think it's listed as the professional knife sharpening system. As you can see, a little picture of the guy using it there. And it all comes in a nice little nylon carry pouch. You know, different sections for the different parts. And then it has, let me get this in. You know, a long one here to put the rods in. And it holds it nice, neat. Just keep it out in the garage when I'm not using it. And then, you know, every so often I bring it in and I just hit up all my knives at one time so I don't have to constantly, you know, set it up for just one knife. I'll hit them all. Now I'll tell you, what I found the most helpful is once I get them, you know, as razor sharp as I need, I'm pretty much only going to use these two after that, the 800 and the 1500 grit, because this is just going to maintain the edge. I do use a field sharpener when I'm outside in the woods or something when I want to get home. I typically only ever need to really use these two. The 180 that's on here, I mean, if you need to completely reprofile an edge, you can do it, because this is going to take a lot of material off. The 400 grit is a good way to follow it up. You know, and then of course you would work through the whole system if your knife is extremely dull or you needed to reprofile the edge. But once you get them where you need to be, you're only going to use two of these stones. So it really won't take you very long to get your knives extremely sharp. And I use it on this one, and hopefully you can tell. But that is just kind of a mirrored edge. You can kind of see my reflection right here on this part of the blade pretty easy. I mean, it does an extremely good job, and I mean, it makes all my knives just razor sharp. And the reason why I like this, I mean, it was $30 to get this whole setup, and most of your sharpening stones are $20 to $30 for just one stone, and it, you know, it might have a coarse and a fine side, but that's it. And so if you wanted to get to the higher grit levels and higher, you know, sharper knives, then you're buying multiple stones, and you know, you're only going to have to buy them once, really, you know, at least for a really long time. But still, that cost tends to add up. So, well, I mean, I don't know how much more I can say about it. This thing just works extremely well. Professional knife sharpening system. I use it all the time. Once again, a little bit of a learning curve when you first get it, but after you have it down, you fly right through it, and it takes no time at all. I highly recommend this. They have them on eBay. I've never seen this in the store, so I think this is pretty much the only place you're going to be able to get it online. But it's easy to do, you get it quick, but as you can see, obviously through the writing that's on it, I can't remember if it was Chinese or Japanese, but you know, the Apex Pros, $200–300, depending on which one you get, and you know, this is $30 and pretty much does the same thing, just a few less bells and whistles. And I think the Apex Pro is a little easier to use than this one, but you know, hey, when you only have $30 and not $300, I'll live with a little bit of a learning curve on how to just angle the blade, but you know, it's worked out quite well for me. Alright, hope this helps you in potentially finding a new sharpening system for your knives. And in the meantime, be prepared and have fun.